This is State Farm agent Jason Hardy speaking today with El Dorado Wildcat football coach Stephen Jones. Coach Jones, how are you today, sir?
Doing great. How are you?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. This is normally our traditional Jason Hardy State Farm Player of the Week spot. Obviously, we're in week one. So let's just talk a little bit about you've had a purple and white game. You had the benefit game with North Little Rock. Let's talk a little bit about who stood out for you there. Maybe some surprises, and see if maybe we can predict going forward who some players are we might see in this spot going forward this year.
Sounds good. I think the first player of the game should be you for signing on again to do this. We appreciate that. Our kids always look forward to the announcement of who the player of the week was from the previous game, and that's a big deal for our program. So we really do appreciate you signing on again to do this. It's a great thing for our program. But, yeah, we had a scrimmage game 2 weeks ago now against North Little Rock. Very good 7A football team, one that has played in either the semifinals or finals the last, 6 seasons. So that's a great test going into the season to see where we're at, how we stack up. Defensive line really stood out. That was something that the North Little Rock staff talked with me about after the game. Just they really had trouble blocking Tacoy Stewart, and we think that he's going to be a standout this season. He's 6'1", 310 pounds, and can bench press. I don't know, like cars and stuff. I mean, he is as strong as all get out. And what's impressive is his explosiveness and how it does not matter if he's getting double, triple teamed. He's going to find a way to get in the backfield and make a play. So he's an elite player for us, and we expect a big season from him. I expect that he be playing on Saturdays next fall, and
awesome.
He has some interest from some Division I schools already, and I think that he'll have an opportunity there. And then the rest of our defensive line, I mean, we have a couple guys that we send in and out that create some depth there, but we feel really good about that group. Collectively, probably the best unit on the defensive side as far as overall talent. We are continuing to add depth at linebacker. We have a 3-year starter at corner with Bryson Bolden on defense, but the group that really is the core right now is the defensive line, and that's a good thing going into a season because it starts up front. If you can't stop the run, you can't win, and we feel good about that, and we feel like that Tacoy and the rest of the group are going to be able to make some big plays this year.
Fantastic, man. That's great. Love hearing about those defensive guys, especially the defensive line guys, offensive line guys. Those guys so often go unheard of and untalked about. The guys in the trenches. I know on the offensive side of the ball, you had a quarterback battle this spring coming into fall camp, coming into the fall season. And you're replacing, I think, some senior wide receivers. Now you've got obviously a big receiver coming back in DeAndre Burns, but let's talk a little bit about some of these guys that are filling some holes. Some of the guys that are coming in and stepping up to replace some guys that graduated last year.
Yeah, T.J. Dunn last year probably would have started for most ball clubs. Just the guys that were in front of him had an edge. He's a very explosive playmaker outside, so having him and obviously DeAndre coming back helps us out. We'll definitely get some mismatches out there in space that we can take advantage of. And then we're pretty deep at the receiver group. We have DeMarcus Young, Jacoby Montgomery that are seniors. And then we have a couple of young guys that we feel good about in Jay Prince Robinson and Dominique Grimes. So we feel like we're 4, 5, 6 deep right there at receiver, and those guys continue to improve. And, yeah, we had a quarterback battle throughout the spring. Colin Parker won that job. It was kind of after the fact fun to sit back and just go back through how it all came about. I mean, there were a number of different things that we would look for in, figuring out who the leader was going to be of the unit. And one of the things that I point back to is there were a few practices that when we would go first though against first D, I would just say first offense up, and I wouldn't tell which quarterback to get in. I mean, we had 3-4 guys at the time competing for the job, and I just say first offense up, and Colin was in there. And a long time ago, I had a coach tell me that if you say first offense, the quarterback's going to go in there. You don't have to tell him. And that's kind of a big part of what we saw was, he wanted it. He worked for it. And right now he's in the lead there, and I expect him to have a great season.
And that sounds great. Talking a little bit about some surprises, maybe some guys that have stepped up that you didn't see coming, maybe some things that have happened through the Purple White game and even the North Little Rock benefit game, that maybe some people that have surprised you a little bit, or maybe not surprised you, but been even better than maybe you thought you were going to get out of them.
Yeah, a couple guys offensively, starting up front, left tackle Carmelo Johnson and left guard Ethan Faith. Going into the season, we had no clue who those starters would be, and they've done a really good job and stepped up. And Ethan, going into his senior year, we expect a lot out of him. He's very technical with what he does, and he's always going to be in the right spot and does a good job there. So we're excited to have him step up and take over that leadership role at the guard spot. And then on the defensive side of the ball, inside linebackers, Alex Meeks, he's a little bit undersized. He's a junior for the inside backer spot, but it's at practice we just kind of look up and see that every time the ball snap, we run a play, he's the guy making the tackle. So it's been fun to see him take over that role. And then on the back end, two guys, Jordan Ford and Caden Perry, our safeties, didn't really know going into this season who the safeties would be. They have a great coach in Daryl Lewis, who 3-year starter at Louisiana Tech playing safety, and he has two guys now that we feel great about back there and have done a good job. So we've had a lot step up. We had a lot of holes to fill, but we also had some talented guys ready to hop in.
Fantastic. Now, we've kind of skipped over the fact that we are going after a repeat. We won a state title last year in 6A. How has that affected, whether it's affected coaching staff, whether it's affected team, knowing that they got a target on their backs for one, because they're the reigning state champs, and two, there are some expectations there. Maybe it's a little pressure. Maybe the expectations are real or not. Tell me a little bit about that. How is that affecting your team at all? And if so, how?
I mean, starting with expectations, that's the expectation in El Dorado, is to win every game. I mean, that's what's expected, is to compete late in the season for a state championship. And so that hasn't changed. The thing that I think has changed is the positive momentum that our programs gained from playing in the state championship game. We lose a big senior class, and you kind of hear in the community, well, we lost all that talent. What are we going to be like? And the guys that are stepping up to fill those spots are playing with a chip on their shoulder, because that's what they're hearing out in the community. So, and they don't want to be the group that lets it slide back. So, just positive momentum is probably the biggest thing I've seen, is wanting to continue, what we did last year, and kick off the 2022 season against Camden. Nobody cares we won a state championship last year. It's what are we going to do on Friday night in 2022? So our kids understand that too, and they're ready to play.
Excellent, man. Glad to hear it. I know there's a lot of excitement in this game. El Dorado Camden's a rivalry game. They've gotten a trophy designed for you now, so now it's a trophy game. So it's a big night, home opener, season opener, and really looking forward to the season. Coach, enjoy spending this time with you. Look forward to getting to spend some time with you and some of the guys, some of the players that we'll meet throughout the season that'll fill this spot as the Jason Hardy State Farm Player of the Week, and really appreciate your time and look forward to the rest of the season.
Absolutely, and thanks again for signing on to help us out this year.
No problem. It's my pleasure. I enjoy it.